Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Monday. Yeah, is it Saturday? What? Did the title not change? The title was supposed to change. Let me look at that real quick. Let's see here. Give me just a second. I'll update the title if the title change for some reason didn't take. Hold on. Stand by. Let's see. It says I'm streaming. Oh, yeah. So let's do this. We'll change the title to Monday live stream. That should update anytime. So I did change the title. So we'll see what happens. Looks like there's 39 of you in already. So that's fantastic. Let me go back here and get back to where I can see myself and the chat window. All right, so happy Monday. I hope you like the new format. Can everybody hear me? First of all, let me know in the comments if you can hear me. So, also, I'm going to be doing a video. The video tomorrow that's coming out is about some SSL certificate problems with UniFi. So, if you haven't been doing SSL certificates, or you saw the last video where we had to do some things. I've been working with support all morning on SSLs.com because they changed their name, and when they did that, now there's some certificate problems. So I've got the other window open here, and I'm working with tech support right now. And they just sent me 2 certificates to try. So they are confused, but when you go, and I'm actually gonna go. I'm actually going to do a video, on this. So I'm downloading these certs now. And the client that I'm doing this with, the client is actually in Ireland, so it's in the evening. So as soon as we finish up this live stream, I will get back on that. So I wanted to change up the live stream a little bit. So do you guys like the new format? So we've got things that are scrolling along the bottom. Graphics, we can switch the screens. It's nothing new in the world of streaming, but it's something new to the channel here. So does everybody kind of like that? And we took live calls a long time ago. Like, I can't even remember when we took the live calls, but we took them on the live phone. So I'm hoping at the next live stream to be able to take live calls actually on the computer here. So I can see the live. What I think is live comments, but hey, James is here. James, I'm glad that you're here. So I don't have anything like too earth shattering here this morning. I just wanted to pop in, say hi, and answer some questions. So I do want to take about the next half hour to go ahead and take questions, UniFi questions, Edge router questions, AirMax questions, all kinds of questions. So, hey, Ash is with us. All right. And I'm just responding to my tech support over at SSLs.com to let them know that I'm going to try the new certs that they sent in about a half an hour. So normally when if if you use my method for getting an SSL certificate for SSH, usually we can do it in less than an hour, and that includes buying a brand new domain from Google Domains. That is setting up the email forwarder. I mean, start to start to finish, getting an SSL certificate. So this morning, just so you know, I've actually been working on this since 7 a.m. because I thought I did something wrong when I couldn't get the SSL certificate to import, and it turns out that Komodo is now Certigo. And so anyway, like I said, I'm going to go through all that in the video. I got all the neat text and all that good stuff. So let's open it up. Let's take a look at some of the questions. So we've got Nathan Smith. Anything to say about the quality of the EdgeRouter 2.0 release? A lot of people are complaining, but it seems fine to me. So Nathan, hold on just a second. I gotta grab my tea. All right, I am drinking tea. This is Tazo Butterscotch Blondie tea, and I'm drinking it from my Play in Peoria mug. If you've never heard the saying, will it play in Peoria? The Peoria area used to have such a diverse background that they said that if a show could play and succeed in Peoria, it could play anywhere. So that's where the saying, will it play in Peoria, came from. So I have been on the 2.0 release, and I haven't had any issues. I have seen where some people with the smaller routers were having some issues, and but I haven't had any issues. But I don't have that many in the field right now. So yeah, Ross, I just redesigned the live stream, and I wanted to go live, and there will be a live stream this Saturday, but they're going to be a little bit more structured. You can see down at the bottom, down there right now, I'm streaming, so that's my website, and then everybody wants to also know how they can donate, since my YouTube isn't monetized, and so I put my PayPal donation link down there as well. I figured we'd kill two birds with one stone. So let's see. How about why are the GrandStream? Yeah, Brad, so some of the GrandStream ATAs, I'm not a huge fan of the web interface. They're super powerful and they're super stable, but compared to like the UCM or even the phones, the ATA interface is very difficult. Can you use a USG to do VLAN support for the Synology SRM? I wanted to add a guest network on VLAN 20, but Synology does not support VLAN. So Rodney, yes, you could use a USG, and so what you would have to do is on VLAN 1 or the untagged VLAN, what you would have to do on the Synology is you would have to have static routes that pointed from the Synology back to that layer, or to VLAN 1 or the untagged VLAN interface on the USG. So let's just say it's like 192.168.1.1. So on the Synology, for routes for 192.168.2.0/24, you would point that to 192.168.1.1, and it should work properly. You saw me do it. There's a video I did it where I did it with a switch. Justin's with us. Hey, Justin. Anders, yeah, so the beard. So the beard was looking really nice. It was nice, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna like cut my beard in half, right? I'm just gonna like, I'm gonna take like 50% of the beard off, and I made a mistake and got a little bit of a gouge there, and so I had to trim it down. But it's coming back by March. You'll see the beard. Yeah, no, I wear the beard to hide the chin, but the second chin is going away. Too. Justin says, do you have anyone pushing large amounts of traffic through any EdgeRouter Infinities? Everybody should say hi to Justin. Justin is over in Indiana, owns a consulting company and a WISP, and does tower climbing and stuff like that. Boo, I wouldn't want to be tower climbing today, but so James, Justin, I do have people using the Infinities, but I doubt they are pushing the kinds of traffic that you're looking for. I got to imagine my traffic's probably topping out at like 2 to 3 gigs, nowhere near the 10. So sorry about that, but I can try to find some case studies for you. Yeah, if you reach out to us too on PBX stuff, not only am I doing it, but James is doing the PBX stuff for me as well, so we can get you hooked up if you're having problems with your ATA. Tim says, do you have a preferred voice over IP provider recommendation? Yes, SIP.us is who they are fantastic. Hey, Jordan. Brian asks, speaking of SSL certs, do you think it's vital for a home user with a basic UniFi setup using a cloud key to set up SSL? I'm trying to see if the security benefits outweigh the potential frustrations. So it depends. I mean, because of what I do, the nature of what I do, I SSL all the things that I can. For you, if it's just for home, I mean, it's up to you. It's really up to you. I can't tell you yes or no. There is a switch that will go over. I'll add it. I'm going to actually write this down. I'll add it to the SSL certificate video that I am creating. And I'm hoping that when I do the video that we have a resolution. But there is a command line option you can add to Google Chrome where Chrome will ignore the certificate errors. So you can just blow right by those. Chrome option to bypass cert errors. Now, I don't recommend running that in a real world. Running that in your lab is fine when you're connecting to your gear if you're not going to do SSL certificates. But do not be going out on the public internet. Don't be going out on the public internet and bypassing all the certs. I mean, that would not be good. So, all right. So back to the questions here. Jocko or Jaco says he does about 10 terabytes through his Edge Router 6. Jeffrey Collins, do you have an opinion on a VoIP provider? Yeah, SIP.us. And I do fax from my GrandStream. So, and I fax using the SIP.us, Jeffrey, and it works just fine. Justin says, what's the latest management tools from AirMax? So, Justin, if we're not using Air Control, which if you're not on the latest version of Air Control is very nice. Couple WISP customers of mine are on that, but then we're also using UNMS on top of that. Yeah, FlowRoute. James says FlowRoute. FlowRoute's good too. I like FlowRoute because you can gas it up and go. So drop $50 in the account. When the $50 is gone, it's gone. They'll let you know. So Lewis says, I'm having a problem with a G3 camera upgrading to the latest firmware. I have not been able to find the commands to SSH and upgrade. Thanks. So Lewis, what I would suggest on that is maybe factory default your camera and leave the default credentials. I don't know if you're on UniFi Video, if you're on UniFi Protect. Chuck asks, when would you use a Yaystar over a GrandStream UCM for a small office? Well, Chuck, that is a fantastic question that I don't have an answer to right now. So let me tell you how the Yaystar relationship came up. By the way, we are not, I repeat, we are not abandoning GrandStream. GrandStream makes awesome products, and we are just as committed, and James can back me up on this. We are just as committed to GrandStream as we've ever been, maybe even more. So wait until you see the next GrandStream video. We're going to talk about a specific phone, and we're going to wire it and all that good stuff. But how the Yaystar relationship came about was someone on the channel actually wrote an email to Yaystar and copied me in and was like, hey, this guy does videos. We want to see videos of the Yaystar products, you know, the way that he does videos. And so we started this kind of back and forth conversation, they ended up sending me the S20 and the module. And then they said, look, we don't have anybody in the United States that's a training partner. Would you like to become the training partner? And I said, sure. So what they did was they provided us with all of their training materials, and we are working through that. And we do have to sit for the certifications. They just don't give those to you. And once we're certified, we will be the United States training partner for Yaystar. So it's not that we're favoring Yaystar over Grandstream, but we are widening our offerings and supporting more things. If Grandstream were to come to me right now and say, hey, do you want to be a training partner? I'd say, yes, sign me up. Their process is different. So the Yaystar process presented itself, to me. So, and we're excited about that, to be able to offer, more products. So variety is good. It's just like, well, for now, the only NAS you see until QNAP reaches out, or some of these other brands, they reach out and they're like, hey, you want to do QNAP videos? If QNAP were to reach out and say, hey, do you want to do videos? I'd say, yeah, if you want to send me a unit, I'll add it to the, I've got an exclusive nothing with anybody. None of these videos that you see, I'm paid. I'm not paid to do any videos. I do these videos because I want to put the information out there in the public, and I love technology, I love learning, and I love being able to help other people. And so, yeah, none of these videos are paid. Companies do send me gear, and maybe that's a super bad model for this. Maybe I should start charging for those, but I'm not at a point where I think that my video quality is good enough to charge for that. So we'll figure it out, Chuck. We're gonna learn Yaystar together. But the Yaystar opportunity has given me access to learning materials that I've not had previously, which I'm really excited about. Carter asks, is there any reason to have pfSense on an appliance if I am running Synology router and a NAS? I don't think so. In fact, the Synology router can do all the same bells and whistles that pfSense can do. It can do intrusion detection, prevention. It can do VPNs. The only thing that it can't do is it can't do VLANs. So if you need multiple VLANs, then you're kind of out of luck. Jaco, no, I don't know anything about the Ubiquiti LTU release dates. That is something that you will have to get a hold of Ubiquiti about. Good morning, Ivan. Brad says, another question. Your opinion on UniFi pushing out so many updates and with the switches. I have a client that I just can't reset the switch so much. Yeah, so you should probably plan your upgrades. So, and it's good, though, that Ubiquiti is pushing upgrades. It's fantastic. It's better than Xerox. This is no kidding. So if you live in a Windows world and a Synology world, recently you would know that Microsoft pushed some SMB changes and Synology also pushed some SMB changes. And so Synology and Microsoft work together fine, but now we've got these Xerox multifunction machines who haven't had a firmware update since 2013, and there's no new firmware available. Well, now they're having problems with SMB. So now who's going to tell Xerox that they need to update their drivers? Unky Joe is here. Unky Joe. Joe has a fantastic channel. If you are not subscribed to Unky Joe, go over to Unky Joe's Playhouse. He is a fantastic human being, and I enjoy the format of his videos. And I'm hoping to do a collaboration with him, maybe in 2019. Yeah, Jeffrey is saying that Grandstream released a sneak peek on some new equipment. Now, I'm in the beta program for Grandstream, but I elected to not get into either one of those. I only have one location where we use the DECT phones. Otherwise, I am pushing the WP820, which is the Wi-Fi phone. I was just on a call using this just a few minutes ago. And then, yeah, they've got some sort of other digital media conversion something or others. Yeah. Oh, so Justin is saying that they gutted the UB&T LTU team before Wispapalooza in October. So that must mean that Robert wasn't happy and he went in and gutted the team. Justin, anything else you can tell us there? I'm assuming the core Airfiber guys are still there. That or Cambium will probably pick them up. And maybe the LTU team went to that too. Do I use Pi-hole? I do not use Pi-hole. So, you know what? Something else that is exciting is I do have a refreshed relationship with Cambium now. And Cambium has sent me some gear. I know they're sending gear to other YouTubers. Tom, they talked about, or Tom has talked about, he got some gear. They are sending us all gear, and we're all going to see how we all do our own spin on it. So I've got some really cool video ideas for 2019, and definitely a collaboration with Unky Joe is on that list. Can you do a video on how to resolve issues with high retries in the UB&T access points? We can definitely take a look at that, but it may be site dependent. Have you upgraded the firmware? I saw when somebody went to the newest firmware that may have addressed some of those issues. Yeah, and I wonder who this is. I don't know who this is. Somebody blowing up my cell phone, but I don't know the number off the top of my head, so I'm going to decline it because it could be somebody calling to like scream and yell. Tom Lawrence just pinged me. Hold on a second here. Okay. So back to what Justin's saying is that he heard the Airfiber guys were going strong, but LTU is a bad word with Ubiquiti. So 2019 will be the year of fixed wireless and many other things. I mean, I'm really hoping to take production level up a step and video content up a step and really explaining things, and even if the videos have to be a little bit more drawn out. So we'll see what happens. So I'm not as with Ubiquiti, I'm not as much in the know on the fixed wireless stuff as I am with EdgeMax and Unify. Now, I do have other vendors. Like I said, Cambium has reached out. Mimosa, even if they reached out to me, I wouldn't work with them. IgniteNet has reached out on APs, but so there's Cambium and then LegoWave. So we're gonna get to see a little bit of that. I'm actually gonna send my LegoWave kit to my friend who is a WISP out in Utah, and we are going to deploy that. And Jordan, yes, the big VPN is coming. So the big ass VPN project. We had so many people respond. What has happened is I've got so many overlapping subnets and all this other stuff is that I am actually working when I get 5 and 10 minutes here and there, so don't give up. I am actually going to assign you the subnet for you to use, and if you're going to participate, you will have to use the information that I give out because I've got a lot of overlaps and a lot of little issues with people sending information in. So to make that VPN collaboration between the community work, I am going to assign the subnets. So Ross says, everybody in the forums is mad about LTE PTM, point to multipoint, as they plan their entire business around an unreleased product, which is stupid. Yes, Ross. I agree that planning your business around an unreleased product is definitely a mistake. Now, I'm so far out of the know on that stuff. I can sign into the beta store to buy things, but you have to be invited to get the LTE or the LTU point to multipoint stuff. I can't even buy it in beta. So Unky Joe says, trying to get a client to update their existing Unify APs from 2014. Problem is they work so well. And that's the thing. Like, I have original UAPs. I still have original UAPs in the box. Now, I've probably, since I started deploying these, deployed somewhere in the order of 20 to 25,000 access points, Ubiquiti. And I can tell you that I can count on two hands the number of RMAs that I've had to do. So let's see. Yeah, and they do. They're solid. And I can't believe the places that I go that I see the green ring and I'm like, what is going on? Like, why are these people not upgraded? But I mean, you know, depending on your application, the 2.4 gigahertz stuff may work fine. Do you know of any upcoming Ubiquiti products that support multi-gigabit? No. Unky Joe says we almost had a USG with this, used a USG with this client, but they have external. Yeah, so that's the thing. Hey, Tom Lawrence is here. So yeah, that's the thing. The USG, you know, one of my main complaints is that we need to, without a JSON file, and I have people get a hold of me for consulting, and they open it up with, hey, I talked to support and they said we could do this with a JSON file. My immediate response to that is, that's awesome, but every consultant that I know won't touch a JSON file at all. And I won't touch a JSON file. I won't sell you the JSON file. It's a recipe for disaster. I mean, I've run into cases where Ubiquiti support has configured JSON files for people, and then it didn't go in the customer notes, and now the customer has problems, and it's a big stupid deal. So no, I don't support JSON files. Tom, I know, doesn't support JSON files. I believe Crosstalk does not support JSON files. I don't think Unky Joe supports JSON files. So you might find a Cowboy out there that'll support those. Go use the Cowboy if you want the JSON file, because I'm not going to touch a JSON file. Yeah, so, and I know Tom has been pushing to another channel for Proxmox, but just so you know, Proxmox is going to be coming. I'm actually working on migrating 4 VMware hosts in a live environment that have over 80 servers. I'm actually planning to move from VMware to Proxmox, and I have exactly a calendar year to do it. So you are going to get to go along with the planning and see how that works. We're going to blow it up in the lab before we blow up a live environment. So, hey, the pig's mud. Yeah, Tom's right. You can't have too many videos on Proxmox. You know, Tom, I really wish that the FreeNAS guys wouldn't have had to scrap Coral or Corral, however you pronounce that. I installed it and I started messing around. I started messing around with the VM stuff in there. Man, I fell in love with that. And then like I'm using it one day, and then like boom, they dropped the hammer and it was unsupported. So I'm doing excellent today, the pig's mud. How are you? I don't know if you all watched the FreeNAS Carl. Yeah, Carl. For those of you who watched the Walking Dead. Oh, cool, Tom. I'm gonna have to check out FreeNAS. I'll run FreeNAS on my Synology. No, I will. I'll run it in a VM and see what happens. So, oh, if you can hold on for just a second, I will let me grab a couple things. From the other room. Hold on. I forgot to tell you about my other partnership that is starting, and they actually approached me with a completely different offer than any other vendor. We'll get to that here in a second, but here is a Cambium. This is the CN Pilot E600. This is an indoor access point, and I actually have a switch right down here. I'm going to plug it in, power it up. You're going to see all the videos on this access point, and the CN Pilot system and all that. So that is good. Yeah, PC Wizard, you're about 3 steps behind there. We are gonna, if you need some Proxmox help, you can reach out to me. But there is a couple channels out there. One is Learn Linux, but I am also going to be publishing videos here soon. By the end of February, we will have those out. But so I'm really excited about this. I'm distracted by my new layout here, and Michael, I don't know anything about the LTU products. I couldn't get my hands on one. I asked and asked and asked, but no, you'd have to ask somebody who actually has them. The Pig's Mud, yeah. So I have a couple clients with the G Suite and the pricing, and I actually don't think the pricing is an issue or that it's that bad. If you look at the timeline of how Google has actually raised prices, it's ridiculous for people to think that Google should still make the same amount of money that they do today as they did 5 years ago when costs continue to rise. I mean, you can't continue to provide those services at the same cost. So here's something really cool. So Linksys reached out to me, and I have a Linksys. This is the dual WAN VPN router, and I also have a switch. And Linksys and I have a beautiful new relationship. I have a meeting with them here sometime in the future, and I have a meeting with somebody in Peoria who is in the know with nonprofits. So what Linksys is actually doing is Linksys is going to outfit an entire nonprofit organization with a brand new network, and I am going to do the install. And we are going to do a video on it. And we're still hashing out some of the details, and I have to have a follow-up meeting, but that will be coming in the first quarter, at least, where we meet with the nonprofit, we go over their needs, and then the equipment that Linksys is going to send, and then we'll do some network planning, and then we'll get into the deployment. So I'm really excited about this. Now, for those of you who I actually had the last time I talked about this, I had somebody say, "Oh, Linksys is Cisco and it's garbage. Run away." No, Linksys is not Cisco. Linksys is Belden, and they're not junk. So the thing is, if these things were like complete junk, I mean, they wouldn't sell them, right? So like products that don't perform, and they cease to exist. So I mean, this is actually, it's a pretty nice looking router, and like I said, I've not had any of the other companies that I work with, which, by the way, I'm telling you, like, up front, I don't get paid. I get free gear, but I don't get paid. So I'm super excited about this. They are the first device equipment manufacturer that reached out to me and said, "Hey, let's step this up a notch." It wasn't even my idea. They're like, "We want to give away a free network to a nonprofit." And I was like, that's fantastic. So definitely working on that. The best performing AP, in my opinion, yeah, it depends on your budget. So I would say in probably 75% of all applications, something from Ubiquiti is going to work just fine. But wait until you start seeing this. Like, once we get this, now Linksys is also sending me some of their new APs, and they actually want me to like do like a head-to-head comparison. So that will be interesting how I handle that. But yeah, Aruba's good stuff. They're not the end all be all. If I was going to spend a lot of money, it probably wouldn't be on Aruba. It might be on Aruba. Let me see. Aruba access points. Let's see here. Yeah, no, it wouldn't. If I was going to spend a lot of money, it wouldn't be wholly Aruba. Now, little quiz time. Who does the Super Bowl? Does anybody know who does the networking for the Super Bowl? Does anybody know how many people go to the Super Bowl in the United States? Anybody? I'm going to wait for it here in the comments for just a second. Does anybody know who does the networking for the NFL Super Bowl? Anybody? Any takers? No guessers? Come on, guys. Look alive. Look alive. Who does the networking for the Super Bowl? It is not Ubiquiti. It is not Ubiquiti. Oh, it is not Ubiquiti. Now Verizon is involved from a yes, the Pig's Mud. The Pig's Mud got it. Extreme Networks, right? And so they actually have white papers out there, and let's see if we can find it here. Solutions. Let's see. Let me see here. Let me see if I can find Extreme Networks Super Bowl. All right. So here we will go. We'll bring up the. We'll bring up. Here is some of the insights. So the thing is, yeah, for the 5th straight year, Extreme Networks was named, and this was published last year after the Super Bowl. And let's see. Yeah, so Extreme, I'm not saying Ubiquiti is not the real deal, but what I'm saying is that, yeah, so look at this. 7.7 terabytes of data was transferred during pregame festivities. Peak data transfer rate was 7.867 gigabits per second. 16.31 terabytes of data transferred. And you can see how it is. It'll be interesting to see 2019 what this looks like. So they had 40,000 people on the wireless network throughout the Super Bowl. At the peak, the concurrent users, 25,670 peak concurrent users. Do you understand the infrastructure that it would take to have that many people being able to transfer that kind of data? Right? I mean, the planning that's got to go into this. I mean, holy cow. Let's see. 7.8 terabytes of cloud storage was transferred across the wireless network. 2.6 terabytes of social networking data transferred throughout the 2.6 terabytes. That's a lot of social media, man. Let's see here. Top streaming apps. There was 145.5 gigs of YouTube, Netflix. Somebody was streaming Netflix. I love it. Hulu, Periscope, of course, Periscope. There was 1.3 terabytes of Facebook, 1 terabyte of Snapchat. I mean, these numbers are impressive. Super duper impressive. So at one point, they had 59% of the people that attended connected at one point to the Wi-Fi. That is a huge number. Huge number. I would love to be on the team or be able to sit in on the meetings where they talk about this. So go out and do a Google search, and just do a Google search for Extreme Networks Super Bowl Wi-Fi, and it will pull all of, you can go look at all the white papers, and you can, Extreme Networks, and I have Extreme gear in the lab, so I think it might be time to, I think it might be time to do some Extreme videos. So I also have reached out to Ruckus, because I would like some Ruckus switches for the labs, but they haven't got back with me yet. Yealink did respond to me, and hopefully they're going to send a couple phones. Unky Joe, Extreme Networks, yeah, they let's see if I can pull up Extreme Networks Wi-Fi. Let's see, all enterprise solutions. I think they bought someone else. These companies, they were trading solutions around for a while. Like you and I change change socks. Let's see. And I think that they call their stuff, yeah, their wireless stuff is called Extreme Mobility. I can't remember who it used to be. Here it is. So, and it looks like, look at this. They've got a camera. So, I mean, there are other providers, you know, that could, I'm sure Cisco could say, oh, we could do it, but the licensing would cost more than a Super Bowl commercial to do it. So, you know, that's probably out. But I really like Extreme Network switches. They're purple, and the config cable's purple and everything's purple. It's yeah, you know. Extreme Video, configuring a unified network using the app while doing a buggy jump. Huh, that's hilarious, Ross. Bungee jump. Yeah, you know, so I am the Pig's Mud. Yeah, I am trying to get as many access points as I can. And we'll have to see what comes out of it. So, yeah, very, very, very interesting stuff. You know, Extreme Networks, their engineers, man, they've got to be on top of it. Could you imagine if you deployed a Wi-Fi network at the Super Bowl and then it didn't work? I mean, you would go out of business, right? There's so much money wrapped up in football and all these things. You would definitely go out of business. So, all right, what other questions? Let me hop over here and see if I can find the live chat here and see if I can see some of the other questions. Let's see. Hopefully it doesn't, the audio from this doesn't hop over here. I'm just trying to get to a place where I can scroll back through the questions here. Let's see. Yeah, you would definitely end up in court, Ross, with a deal like that. So Justin was talking about when he worked with Greg at the Grizzlies, Ubiquiti had a guy come in who did Stadium Wi-Fi. Yeah, Stadium Wi-Fi is an entirely different beast than what most people deal with. You got to have real tight beam widths. You've got to have excellent channel reuse. There's all kinds of things. Stadium Wi-Fi for that many connected people, it is more art than it is science. But Michael, could you explain your comment about Cambium networks seem to have an edge on Ubiquiti? Are you talking about in the fixed wireless? Or are you talking about in the Wi-Fi? So Brad says, I was a huge Ruckus fan, but the expense has moved me to Unify. Just need more WLANs. So you can, with the newer stuff, get 8, but 8 SSIDs on an access point, but it is a huge system resource suck. German asks, are you familiar with SonicWall Firewall and does it play well with Ubiquiti? Well, as long as firewalls are... let me answer this. So yes, I'm familiar with SonicWall. Yes, it can play well with Ubiquiti. As long as you understand how to... deploy VPNs, you can make anything talk to anything. So, and that is something that we do very often. So, more questions. Please go ahead and light them up here. I appreciate everybody joining me on this chilly Monday. You saw I had my tea, trying to stay warm. Yeah, so Smarter Money, the big VPN project is still out there. If you missed that, I am going to be sending out emails. I am manually assigning everybody's remote subnet because we had so many issues, so many overlaps and things like that. So I'm going to be handing out very small subnets. We're going to be doing VLS-M, Variable Length Subnet Mask. And so instead of classful. So let's see. If my cloud key dies, will my APs work normally? So your APs will work normally as long as you're not using the guest services. If you're using the guest portal and everything, then you're in trouble. All right, so Michael says, in fixed wireless, Ubiquiti firmware is hit or miss. Cambium firmware has always been rock solid. I'm sure that Justin is smiling ear to ear as he hears that, because Justin is a certified Cambium guy. So, Justin, what says you about the Cambium firmware being more stable than Ubiquiti? And don't say what they paid you to say. Give us your real opinion. Unky Joe says, Willie, what is your opinion on IDS, IPS? Is it needed or does it just create another monitoring task? Well, Unky Joe, that is going to go back to your network requirements and also based on your regulatory requirements. So there are networks where we have to run IDS, IPS, and logging, and we have to retain that information for a certain amount of years. So in places where you're going to run into SOX compliance, PCI DSS, HIPAA, any of these regulatory driven things, we are going to need to have IDS, IPS. And also if you deal with like PCI, that's a big one that I deal with. If you're doing Wi-Fi and you're doing transactions over Wi-Fi, you have to have, according to PCI, to be up to snuff and compliant, you have to have a wireless IDS, IPS. So I usually suggest, because of the cost of maintaining that system and installing it, that you don't do transactions over Wi-Fi. But if you want to invest in that infrastructure, it's definitely something that you can do. So it just depends on your requirements. But in my opinion, IDS, IPS is always a good thing. But I tend to err on the side of security. So let's see here. My phone is blowing up here. What is this? Oh, yeah. My dentist. My dentist was just reminding me that I have an appointment. All right, so back to Justin. So Justin says, oh, yeah, but he still likes Ubiquiti, but the working GPS. Yeah, so the GPS allows you to do some things, with the channels. And Justin thinks that the 550 was rushed too much and that there is some firmware issues there. So I can't speak on that yet. That is something that I'm getting into this year. Yeah, because I've been talking about the WISP videos. The WISP videos are finally coming. I have UCRM loaded up in a VM, so I'm working on editing that video. How about a video about DHCP services with Windows servers and Ubiquiti routers? Yeah, we can do that. We can lump that into our Synology stuff. Any thoughts on XactVision? I love XactVision. Well, let me say this. So depending on your needs, XactVision could be a fit. Now, it's not free, but XactVision is for people who use their... Here we go. If you're in a segregation of duties, compliance-driven deployment, the Ubiquiti cameras, the only two options that you're going to have is you can let people view, and then you've got administrator who can lock videos, download videos, things like that. If you're not in a place where you have to have rules and people can just do whatever they want, then the Ubiquiti stuff could work. But in a place where you actually need some law and order and you can't have people just downloading and distributing videos, Ubiquiti doesn't work. So we look at then like the XactVisions, where we can give granular user control where people can view videos but they can't download it. Now, I've had people say, well, that doesn't stop people from, capturing the screen. Okay, so if you've got rules and you've got policies in your business that tell people you don't do this and they agree to it and then they do it, then you fire them or you discipline them. And that is how you deal with it. You hold people accountable for their actions. You just don't say, no, that's stupid. You have to have law and order. So with Ubiquiti, if you want to set it and forget it, it works great. And so for a lot of our deployment, it's set and forget, go back, get the video. If there's an issue, works fine. But if you're in a proactive monitoring solution and you're very proactive about how you use your cameras, XactVision is going to be a much better fit. Unify layer 3 switches, will it happen? Lord willing and the creek don't rise. Why are UBNT cameras so expensive? That is a good question that I don't know the answer to. I don't know. But I do, Reolink is sending me a couple more cameras, one for a giveaway and one to do video review on their PTZ Zoom network camera. So that's going to be awesome. Yeah, ExactVision is a fantastic piece of software. I actually am trying out Blue Cherry right now, and Blue Cherry is looking very, very promising. So for a lower cost solution outside of ExactVision, Blue Cherry may be where it's at. Olay, the YayStar courses will be announced as soon as I have passed my certification. So I've given myself 3 to 4 months because I'm going through intermediate, the middle certs, and then the expert certs. So I have to go through there. I have to understand everything. I have to be able to apply it and then pass it. And then we're going to be talking about that. UniFi site-to-site VPN, any good? Yes, it's awesome, and it takes 3 clicks. How do you configure a Ubiquiti network to point to a Synology DHCP server? Well, you have the Synology on the same LAN. You have DHCP, so you don't point anything to DHCP. DHCP works over broadcast traffic, right? So anything that's in your network, as long as you are allowing and you're not controlling that at the switch, because we can make it so that, you know, only DHCP servers we specify can broadcast on the LAN. Just set it up. Disable DHCP on the Ubiquiti device, enable it on the Synology, and you're good to go. Yeah, Ross, you're 100% right that the Flex has a good price point, but the G3 and G3 Pro are overpriced when you look at like Hikvision. Yeah, Unky Joe, I am taking that Reolink that I've got. I've got the NVR and I've got the Reolink, and I'm taking it to somewhere else to deploy to let someone else take a look at that. Yeah, Ash, go ahead and shoot me an email and we'll follow up on that. UniFi site-to-site, do I need static IPs? To use the auto VPN, you do not need static IPs, but they have to be routable IPs. They cannot be RFC addresses. So what is an RFC address? An RFC address is a 172.0 through 172.31 or a 192.168. As long as you have routable IPs on the USG interface, auto VPN works great. Otherwise, we're getting into like an open VPN type situation. No, you do not need, you don't need static. DHCP guarding. Thank you, Ross. I could not remember the G word. There get too many things bouncing around in my head. So I have not, Peter's asking, what do I think about the Amcrest 4K cameras? And I don't know because I don't have any. So if Amcrest wants to reach out, or if someone wants to shoot me over an Amcrest 4K camera, we'll do a review on it and I will give you my opinions of the camera. So I do, once again, I want to thank everybody for coming out today. I really appreciate it. I know this is not in my schedule, but I really wanted to show this off, try it off. Working on some other things here too. But, oh, Michael says, can you run UCRM, UNMS, and air control? Yes, you can do that. I have a customer where we're running all 3 of those on the same box, and it works fine. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to wrap it up here. I appreciate everybody coming out. Make sure you give me a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe, share, all that good stuff. If you need consulting, make sure you go to willyhow.com. I appreciate all of you, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.